All right. Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Cubfidential. Sorry we're getting started a little late tonight, but we got a loaded show. Actually, it's about a quick show, but we have a lot to be optimistic about. The Cubs are in first place. They're in first place in the NL Central. I don't know how long it's been since we can actually say something like that. I know it's the beginning of the season, but hey, even small victories count. I am Benzo Snipes, usually the producer of the show, but I'm going to be the host for the next 2 weeks as the Brooklyn Crusader himself, JB Ellis, will be out of action. So QB2 will be in. And um, coming in right now is. Oh, one second. Okay. And coming in right now is Mr. Ubbs, but tonight he's Mr. Uber, live from his chariot, Mr. Jacob Christner.
Oh, I'll tell you this: we're gonna be on our rocking chairs and remembering the days when we were doing all this, and it sounded really, really shocking.
yeah, indeed. Man, so are you on your way to the house, or are you still driving?
Oh, yeah, I definitely am. Don't worry about it. I can do this.
Oh, yeah. No, I was asking while you were heading to, I don't know if you were driving to New Orleans or what. But no, we'll get right into it real quick. Going in this past week, the Chicago Cubs actually won 2 series. How about that? Starting with the Rangers-Cubs series, the Cubs took 2 of 3 from the Rangers, including a 7-0 shutout on 4-7. Justin Steele appears to have returned to form, 7 innings pitched, only gave up 3 hits, 8 strikeouts. Your thoughts?
Well, we're going to be bringing that up for the second on that. It's like that's his last good deal, and then now he's injured. See, but can I bring up the injury for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
The thing about the injury is, just looking at the deals, he averaged 5.1 innings per 5.1 innings per game in this year, 5.2 last year, and he got hurt anyway. This is the point that I always make about the situations, about these. Remember how I tell you that we get them out of the game too early, we bubble wrap them?
Right.
But we do deal, and now this is proving my point. We bubble wrap, do something that hurt anyway. Not saying that they need to throw 160 in a row anymore. You know what I mean? 170 pitches. Not saying that, but is there a way that we can teach efficiency to where we get more complete games?
Yeah, indeed. What was the update on the injury? How long is he due to be on the shelf for?
He's out. He's done for the year.
Oh, what?
He blew his elbow. That's it. Yeah.
One game.
He blew his elbow, and it's like and remember, he was injured at the end of the year last year. It's like, this is the point I make. It's like, we're bubble wrapping them, and they get hurt anyway.
Yeah. So you may as well just go back to a time period where pitchers were throwing complete games like it was nothing, because protecting them only kind of does worse to them.
Well, yes, it does. And I'm like, I think there's an in-between. There's an efficiency that we can be able to teach. I'm not saying there's no way we'll ever get them. This is a whole generation that doesn't even know anything about 160 pitches. They even protect them in high school. But we can teach them efficiency, less pitches, right pitches, placement, and the hitter will swing quicker. You know what I mean?
Yes, no, absolutely. And let's see a little more about the series. The Cubs took game 2, 10-6, and then the Rangers won the third game 6-2. But I'll actually want to. I mentioned up the run total because I want to lead it into the next series. So in the Rangers, you figure the Cubs put up 17. They put up 19 runs in 3 games. Not too bad, right?
Well, 19 runs in 3 games for that. 21 against the Dodgers. We're going to go up to the Dodgers series in a second. And the thing is, but here's the deal: 19 in that, 21 for that, and stuff like that. But there's still 8 losses.
Yeah.
Still 8 losses. That just means the bullpen needs work.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? We're going to swim into that series. The Chicago Cubs took 2 of 3 at Dodger Stadium from the defending World Series champs, including a 16-0 demolishing on April the 12th. Now, you figure 20. Now, the Cubs did get shut out the first game, But you figure 20 runs in this series, 19 the last series. Is this the offense we have been looking for since last season?
Yes, and they're number one in stolen bases in the majors. And
Nice.
that's what everything I was bringing up. It's and they only had 2 home runs in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Only two home runs. And I'm like, this is the thing about analytics I bring up all the time. Why? What's the point? It's like you can have a 1 and a 2. You can have your Coleman and McGee, and you can have your Dernier, and we'll go back Dernier and Sandberg. You can have those say guys. You can still have a guy that can hit for power, but you don't need a power hitter in the one spot.
Right.
So the thing is, the only thing analytics has done is we're going to bring the 8 guy. We're going to bring the fastest guy to the 8 spot. It's like, why is PCA in the 8 spot? And if you're thinking, this is the deal about the Crow Armstrong. If you're truly thinking he is your spark plug, why isn't he number 1? Why isn't he the top guy?
Yeah, true. You know who else could also do a decent job hitting leadoff? Cobb Tucker.
Yeah, but Tucker I like in the 4 because he's a power guy.
True.
He's a two right now.
And see, this is what I was telling everybody right when the Cubs got him. He may not look like a power guy, but let me tell you something. When he is healthy, he's a 30 home run guy.
Oh, there's no question. He's at like 320 right now. And this is the thing. This is the thing about a 2. A 2 hitter, I think of Sandberg. Sandberg led the league in home runs 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Led it 1 year. And he wasn't even trying to hit home runs. Just a nice, easy, smooth swing. And it's like, and that's what a 2 hitter should be. It's like if you hit homers and you got it right. You're not here to be the power guy for that whole situation. He just happened to be. That's what a 2 should be in the first place. But we've gotten that. I think Joe Madden, he got us the World Series. He partially got us in that level. He partially got us to where we're doing things like, well, before the pitcher stopped hitting, it's like, well, we'll put the 9 guy at number 7. It's like, okay, but you do it too much and you overthink things.
You know what? That 2016 squad, where in the lineup did Ben Zobrist hit?
Where in the lineup what?
Where in the lineup did Ben Zobrist hit?
Well, he was the one thing is he was about a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, you want to have him down the order.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, but see that you got to remember the last time the Cubs won the World Series, you have Dexter Fowler.
Fowler was the leadoff or the 2 hitter?
Yeah, leadoff.
He was a lead.
He was a legit leadoff, and who could hit homers, but he could also hit in every which way. That's what a leadoff homer guy should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, look at the Astros. Altuve has moved to the leadoff spot. But you can do that. Altuve has moved to the leadoff spot for Houston.
Well, Altuve's also a midget. So it's like he should be a leadoff guy. But he can hit. He's still very powerful, though.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's why when you were saying, like, okay, power hitters at the leadoff spot, Altuve doesn't look the part, but the results don't lie. You could consider him a power hitter.
Well, there's no question of that,
Now, does Alvarez fit the bill more? Absolutely. But, I mean, when you look at Altuve's batting, I mean, he does fit the part. But he's done a fairly good job so far at the leadoff spot. But you mentioned that there was only 2 home runs on April the 12th, and that leads us to our next topic. Are this Cubs for you? Catcher Carson Kelly was the one who hit both those home runs. He went 3 for 3 for 2 home runs. He had 3 runs, 3 RBIs on April the 12th. Your thoughts about Carson Kelly?
Oh, he's been great. He's been wonderful. And it's like, and in truth, this is like, for instance, I remember 03 when you had Baco and Damian Miller, and they were terrible hitters. Mm-hmm. And then you get, and I'm thinking back to 03 when they had one of those things. And then they had the terrible hitters in the 07-08 year when they got swept both times. When the division got swept both times. Not wonderful catching hitters or hitting catchers. So then what do you do when you, so what do you have for your World Series? You have a good one there.
Yeah.
And see, that's the big deal. That's the big deal that I like to talk about by itself is the fact it's hard to find a good hitting catcher. So if you can find it, that's wonderful. And it could be Carson Kelly. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Carson Kelly. Just looking him up real fast. So far, hold on a second. Again, I know this is just the beginning of the year, but Carson Kelly so far as hitting 417, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. His OPS is 1.636. Not a bad start to the year.
Well, what I love is that there's 3 guys 300 and over in the lineup.
Uh huh.
I mean, see, there are power hitters, but what I'm loving is that they're number one in the major leagues in the offense. They're number one in stolen bases. This is everything I bring up with the baseball and everything like that. It's like for instance, I saw the other night one of the averages on the Sunday night baseball with Ohtani, 300 average. That's what about usual with him. 4 homers, 5 RBIs. Eh, eh. I'd rather see him with 13 RBIs right now. You know, it's like it just means he's only getting his own offense.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's only getting his own offense. Will he get better? Oh, of course, because he's Ohtani. But
Yeah.
but he's only getting his own offense, and it's like when they're a powerhouse, you want them to have the. I would rather see him hit doubles for the next 2 weeks to get those numbers straight.
I mean, that's not taking nothing away from Ohtani. The man is amazing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I think that the expectations may be a little bit too high too soon. And I get it because he was coming off a 50-50 season, you know. But let's keep it real. How big? Yeah, you know, he's coming off a 50-50 season. But can he do it again in his career? Not saying he can't be great. He already is.
Yeah.
But it's a 50-50 season. A 50-50 season. But put it to you like this. How many 50-40-90 seasons did Bird have in Boston?
I can tell you exactly how. He had 2 in Boston total, and he averaged 50-40-90 for a 4-year stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he had 2 seasons. As great as he was, he only had, because it's hard to put up a 50-40-90 season. As great as he was, he did it twice. He was lucky enough to do it twice. But he also was just that good.
And averaged it 4 times. He averaged it between 84 and 88, 4 straight years.
Yeah. You know, and he also won MVP, 3 straight years?
Yeah. And people don't, this is the thing about Bird, and we're bringing this part up here. The thing about Bird is what Bird was saying on an interview the other day. He cannot believe he's still known and young kids are still wearing his jersey. Well, look at how many different. Go on YouTube and look at how many influencers and content providers just look at Larry Bird's highlights.
Yeah,
they're looking at a gawky looking redneck that looks like a trash truck driver.
Yeah.
He looks like a trash truck driver and plays basketball with so much sauce.
And he was the king of the stoic look, you know. I mean, unless they won the NBA Finals, then he might smile.
Yeah.
But he was the king of the stoic look. You remember the huge when he was head coach in the Pacers, the huge game-winning 3-pointer that Reggie Miller hit, and then what was Bird's look on the sideline?
Well, yeah, it was 0.2 seconds left, and he knew Michael had it. Yeah, so yeah. So, for one thing, I've done it 1,000 times, and yeah. But no. That's the thing with him is the reason I don't think he realizes YouTube and those influencers. I mean, a lot of the kids from California, you know, Los Angeles area, the black kids. It's like it's kind of in a way. I'm just saying this. It's kind of a circus act. It's like, oh my God, this gawky looking, skinny, fat looking dude. I mean, what's he gonna do? Maybe I heard he can shoot. All of a sudden, he's playing the game with a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
And you know, behind the back passes, and he's kind of, and it's one of those things. It's like he's like a 6'10" Jason Williams in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, and they're like, oh my God, and I'm like, that's why. And it's like, see, Ohtani's going to be that way. Ohtani's going to be that way in 40, 50 years, just because of everything it is. And when I say this about Ohtani, I don't want the media to call him Babe Ruth yet because it's early and there's things.
Mhm.
I want them to be able to call it when he's about 10 years in.
Yeah,
The
but you know what?
numbers
But
are
you know that.
close.
But see, the thing about Otani, man, is you and I both know that the media and fans can be fickle because, again, a 50-50 season is so hard to pull off. He could win National League Most Valuable Player again. And if he doesn't have a 50-50 season, they're going to say he fell off.
Well, no, exactly. And I'm like, I completely agree. But I'm like, the thing I'm saying with them is it's just the fact that it's like I I don't like the one biggest thing is I don't the reason I am the way I am, okay? As far as the
Mhm.
way I'm with the media and fans and all that kind of stuff and how I stick to my guns with James Harden and Caleb Williams and all that BS. I say this and I will tell you the one of the exact reasons on air why I'm this way. Partial of the reason is I'm also cocky and know that I'm right most of the time. Second, but the second and a big thing with it is I'm not the type that jumps up and down and goes all around and goes, "Oh my God, he's gonna be great!" I don't do that and then give up.
True.
I don't do that. So if I feel like this player is going to be great, oh, you're going to hear it. You just haven't heard it a lot yet because I know where it's going. But if I feel like they're going to be crap, I already know where it's going to happen. Remember, I did it with Fields too, even if I liked him.
Right.
And it's like, if I feel like I'm going to say it right away, I'm going to sound like a jerk. But then guess what? What didn't the Bears fans turn on Fields?
Yep.
Yep. That's my point. I never turned on him because I never exactly had he never had my vote of confidence anyway. I don't like the fans that give a vote of confidence to somebody that quit on him.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we do have two more topics real fast before we get done. Our Watch Cub alert: third baseman, shortstop Cade Workman, who's currently on the main roster, but last year in the minors he batted 280, 18 home runs, 89 RBIs. Your thoughts about him? Pretty solid player, sounds like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like really by itself, will we need him this year if they're continuously in first? Because these are the times where the team's been bad or it's been the last couple of years. You bring him up September.
Yeah.
I mean, and in truth, I mean maybe I'm old school with this. I mean, I want to be able to bring him in as an extended roster in September to help a team. Not so early like a lot of teams like when they get bad. I'd rather settle them in and stuff like that. It's like because not everybody's Otani.
Yeah, that's true.
So I am old school. I'm new school in a lot of ways, and I'm old school in a lot of ways. And the old school part is I'd rather be the coach that wants them to be able. I don't want them with. It's like I remember a guy named. I wasn't around back in the time, but it was 1978. I was just born. David Clyde
Yeah.
on the Rangers. He was let's see, drafted right out of high school, and then he pitched his first major league game at 18 years old, 12 days after his high school graduation.
Okay. Hmm.
He ended up they gave him all kinds of press, all kinds of everything. He was going to be the savior. He won 18 games in 5 years, and he was out of the league.
Oh wow. Yep.
I, that's why I don't want to listen to fans. That's why I don't want to listen to media. I don't want the deal because what if he got a little time, and what if you just say shut up and wait?
Yeah. Well, you know
He
what?
might
I
have.
think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see more of these young guys this year. I think we're gonna see James Triantos earlier. I think we're gonna see a couple of more that we've highlighted on this show so far that were in the minors last year. I think we're gonna see more of them on the main roster this year because at some point you have to do something because the Brewers is still
Hold
the
on,
team.
stay. Just keep talking. Hold on, keep talking.
You there?
Yeah, keep talking.
Oh, did you get home? Oh, okay. So anyhow,
Yeah,
the Brewer.
keep talking.
Well, the Brewers are still the team to beat in the National League Central, and at some point you have to try something. I think manager Craig Counsell, along with the acquisitions that had that the with Ryan Presley, the relief pitcher, and Kyle Tucker. There's no real old guys on the team. I think that's what the Cubs are wanting to do. The Cubs are wanting to get just a tad bit younger. I think we see a little bit more of these younger guys coming up, called up from the minors this year. Cade Workman most definitely seems like he's solid. I think we see. I think we see a couple of more this season because I mean it's not one of those "what do you got to lose" type of moments. It's more like "hey, we're doing something different."
There's no question about that. And it's like, but it's at the same time, if you're, you don't have to see because a lot of the people, I mean, like, what if Colorado? And I don't hear Colorado having any big, huge deals. With I haven't heard of too many. What if Colorado, as bad as they are, had themselves a big stud? He'd be up right now. That's why I'd
Right.
rather not see when you're a winner. I'd rather, I'd rather, and personally, I'd rather all 32 teams, but it'll never happen. But I'd rather all 32 teams ignore the media, ignore the fans, and settle them in right because we wouldn't have so many bust players. Because I would personally rather have players that are quote unquote busts, and they'll happen in life. But I'd rather them be busts because of injury than I would bust because we moved them in too quick.
Or a bust because of lazy work ethic, like Jamarcus Russell.
Absolutely. I'd rather it be in a. I'd rather it be in a well preventable deal. In a non preventable thing, it's tough. But I'd rather it be like injury or something like that. If it's because we rushed him up, that's our fault.
No, yep, no, absolutely. I definitely see where you're coming from. I mean, all I can say is so far, it's worked. The Cubs are in first place, and it actually is a great segue to our final topic. So the Cubs are in first place in the National League Central. Remaining schedule for April, they actually just finished the series with the Padres, where they actually dropped that series. But the Padres have the best record in the majors. Although the Cubs did hand them their first home loss this season, we will get on that series next week. But the remaining schedule for April. We got three homestands we're looking at here. Home for air, but it's also tough. It's also a tough finish. Home for Arizona, home for the LA Dodgers, home for Philadelphia, and at Pittsburgh. Now, if in my opinion the Cubs were to drop a series, I'm looking at Philadelphia. The Dodgers, I think they can get again. Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Go
look.
ahead.
I look at the Dodgers also. There's like because that is still they're good. They can be a good road team. But all I got to say is this is where we're really going to find out. And you heard me all last year about this. It's like that Pittsburgh series is going to be more important to me than the winter ones because the winning
Really?
we're not playing playoffs yet. We got to. They better sweep the Pirates. The Pirates are not good.
They're currently 6-12,
Yeah, they're not good. They,
last in the NL Central.
yeah, I think three of the wins are. I'm not kidding you. I think two or three of the wins are Skeens. Paul Skeens is gonna be the Steve Carlson of this era. He's gonna be. He's gonna have 20. He's gonna have 22 wins, and it's gonna be a 58 win team. You know what I mean?
Wins, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's gonna be. That's what the whole thing's gonna be. And it's like they're not a good team. And the Cubs need to sweep like that because they need to show they can beat those teams and beat who they need to.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's about winning the series that you're supposed to. I'm not and again, we'll talk about it next week. It's seemingly the Cubs have gone through most of the National League West. Granted, yes, they are still the Dodgers. Now the Dodgers took the series in Japan. The Cubs took the series in LA. The one in LA, was pretty. You figure you take 2 out of 3 on the road, you're in good shape. But in my honest opinion, do I think they can win all 40 series? Yes, they can. Now that's still an Arizona team that 2 short years ago they won the NL pennant. But if they were to drop a series, I'm looking at Philadelphia. Now I'm not saying Philly would sweep them. It would be, and even then, hang on, I got the schedule in front of me right now. That's a 3-game series.
Well, one of the things right now is the one thing we have a lucky break on is Philadelphia's hitting 205 with runners in scoring position, which
Oh.
that's gonna be helpful. That's gonna be helpful, especially with. But this is where I'm gonna bring up with these series. This bullpen needs to get consistent.
Yes.
Bullpen needs to get consistent, and everything like that. And I'm like, that is going to kill the Cubs in the playoffs if they don't get, because they just murdered it in LA, killed it in LA, and then the first night in San Diego they get killed. And it's like there's only two consistent pitchers on that team. It's Presley and DeHodge. Everybody else gets killed.
Yeah.
So it's like they got to get more consistent, or they got to get a pitcher. That's going to be it.
Well, you know what? Well, now that's still, and we're already looking at it. You know,
That's true. By the way,
we're already looking at it. We may have to. The Cubs may have to go and sign somebody in place of Steele.
that's true on that, but that was that
Other
game.
other than that, the starting rotation is going to fall solely on Imanaga, and that's not fair.
That's true. And I just have to say, I hate ending the thing tonight, but I also am going to be on the Sports Exchange. So I got to get myself ready.
Okay, hey, no. We're all done. We are done here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to Cubfidential. We actually we had a pretty great show. We had 26 minutes. And we will see you all next week for more Cubs baseball talk. Next week, we should have Nick Botkins back. Jacob Christian will be back. I'm going to try to hunt down Tyler Ingram wherever he's at because his Cubs are doing good and seemingly he's mission in action. JB will be out next week. I'll be back in the driver's seat, but we will see you all later. Also, check out all of our other great shows on the Sideline Sports Network. As soon as I get a hold of Dom, Basket Bros is back, and we are going to be doing shows for the NBA playoff 2025. And don't forget the Sideline Sports Show as well. Also, this week will be Top Rope Talk. It'll be the WrestleMania 41 preview with myself and the other Tyler, Tyler Sumner. We will be previewing WrestleMania this weekend. So I'm Denzel Snipes. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.